Hey, Savages, welcome to our Boxing Day knife thing. We're doing a Boxing Day knife thing. Now, for those of you who aren't British, which is fucking almost everybody, it's the day afterwards where you pick up all the paper and you put your boxes away and Boxing Day. I don't know. My mom's a Anglophile, so we used to have Boxing Day parties when I was a kid. And I haven't actually researched the etymology of Boxing Day, but I think it was the day you put away all your boxes from Christmas. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to get some socks and you're going to get a tie, maybe. Nah, you're probably not going to get a tie. You're going to get some socks and you're going to get a Starling Gear bead and you're going to get a lion's head ring from somebody. And, I don't know, like razor blades. And then you're going to look down at your phone and look at your bank account and you're going to be like, I got a little bit left. And in that moment, there might be a little connection between us. For one moment where you think, oh, I'll tell you what would really ring in the new year. A new knife. A new knife for a new way of life. You know what I'm wanting for Christmas? I didn't ask for anything. I don't want anything. I mean, I wouldn't mind a looper. I wouldn't mind a drum looper and an electronic looper for my guitar. But I just haven't bought any stuff like that for me in a while. I've been kind of focused on other stuff. But you know what I'd really like for Christmas? I want a new president. For Christmas, I'd like a new president. That's all I want. I want him to have bad hair. I want him to look like he just got out of a tanning bed. I want his hot wife decorating next Christmas. It's the little things I ask for. These are small things. I don't think they're a lot to ask for. I don't ask for much, God. But I would ask for that. God and Jesus and baby Jesus. Merry Christmas. Happy Boxing Day. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. New Year's coming up. I'm going to be, little announcement, I'll let you know again. I'm going to be at Nashville Tactical, January 5th. I will be there at 5 p.m. and I'll be servicing knives if you come with your Medford knife. If it needs a little tweaking, a little cleaning, a little disassembly, a little reassembly, a little tuning, I will be there. Knife whispering. That's what I do. I'm a knife whisperer. And if you bring something so effed up that I can't fix it, we'll get you taken care of back here at the Shackery. Then from 6 to 8 at Nashville Tactical in Nashville, Tennessee, there's going to be bourbon tasting and no less than the likes of me there doing glad-handing, photo-opping, Instagramming, face-fucking, all of that. It'll all be happening. We'll be doing some fun social media. And I'm also going to be giving away knife number 1, OTF knife number 1. I'm going to be giving it away. So, if you live within a few hundred miles of Nashville, or if you live further away and have nothing going on, come down. We're going to break bread. We can, if they don't have food, I think they probably will. But if they don't, we can go out to dinner afterwards. And let's say 200 people show up. You have a 1 in 200 chance of having the number 1 OTF, first one to make it to the public from Medford Knife and Tool. All right. I'm here with the lovely and talented Lindsay tonight. Lindsay, how are you?
Good day. Good week. Ready for the holiday
weekend. What time are we ripping this shit on? When is this actually coming up on the air? What time of day will this be? Do we know?
Noon.
So it's going to be high noon on Boxing Day. All right. Sounds great. I mean, by the time they hear this, they'll be like, Greg, why are you telling us? We're here watching it. So, but I'm going to do some little promotional videos. All right, here we go. So it's shortly afternoon. Boy, coming in on this day off, the day after Christmas. So stressful. Praetorian Scout is knife number 1. If you guys want to buy one of these knives, go to medfordknife.com. Click up top for the last vault of the year. Last vault of the year. When you click on that, the knives will generally be in about the order I'm covering them today. We goofed it up a little bit last time, but it worked out smoothly. It's the Praetorian Scout. This is a liner lock Praetorian. It is of the FAF dimensions. It has bronzed out stainless and tie hardware, blacked out blade and backstrap breaker, bronzed spacers. It's G10 with a liner on one side, G10 on the other side. Super sexy, fun knife. That is the Praetorian Scout. For those of you who don't know, it's got a cool logo milled into the back side, the non-presentation presentation side. I heard somebody call it the obverse side the other day, and I said, aren't you quixotic? All right, moving on. Next, the en belay. For those of you who've done some mountain climbing or some rappelling, your safety person is called the belay, and they yell up to you en belay when it's time to rip it. I wanted to make this really kind of nasty, big, like mountaineering, big, tough work, cool job, pry, kick-ass knife when I designed it. And I put a big lanyard back strap on it. And I said, well, it's like it's on belay. You can't drop it. It's got, what does it have? It's got flame-treated presentation titanium side, bronze back side. Everything else is in opposition tumbled. Beautiful knife. Next knife, number 3, USMC Fighter Flipper. Sexy as it gets, dressed in blue, the way you want to see a Marine. Dressed in blue, it's got his black Corofram shoes on here. Titanium clip and breaker that have been DLC coated. DLC blackout hardware on blue tie. S35VN tumble polish blade. That is a sexy knife. Next knife up, it's got this, we call this snake belly? Gator belly. Yeah, we got a gator belly Damascus Nosferatu sheep's foot flipper. It's also got sculpting down the back of the blade. There's a lot going on here, sports fans. Super cool knife. Coffin-shaped body, coffin-shaped clip, and oppositional lavender blue ano. Blacked out tops have been touched off. Full-on Nichols Damascus blade. It is that, my friends, is a sexy creature right there. You know what that is right there? That's Halle Berry, circa 2004, after a 30-day bread and water fast, hitting the gym 3 hours a day. That's what that knife is. Halle Berry. Snazzy. Yeah, I'm going to say that's Halle Berry. Hey, Bobby, what was the movie she was in where she was really super hot and like mostly naked? Do you remember? Yes. What was that one? Billy Bob Thornton. Somebody should know that. It reminds me of her in that movie. That wasn't Black Snake Moan. What was that thing? Was that Monsters Ball? Monsters Balls. Yeah, Monsters Balls. What a film. All right, next, an Antic. This is our first forward flipper, a little thumb forward flipper. Just a lovely knife. Everything about this knife is so simple. It's a really cool American knife. I just love it. So it's got a little fade ano, backstrap spacer. That's got a little fade on it. Tumble polish blade. Metal nomenclature is not on the blade. It's either S35 or S45. This is one that has not been. Oh, it's got a really light brand marking on it. You know, this one should get a little laser. We want to put a note. You know, it's got no logo on it. Let's get that lasered up. That'll be a problem. You know, it's true what they say about old people. Although slow and bad in traffic, they can still be helpful. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Sexy knife. Hope you guys like it. Knife number whatever. Smooth Criminal. No, this is Smooth Criminal, right?
That's an infraction.
Infraction. My bad. I'm a smooth criminal, and I always get caught doing infractions, so I'm actually not a smooth criminal. I wish I was a smooth criminal. I'm the opposite. If I do anything, I'm going to get in trouble. I know guys that have been getting hand jobs during their massages for 20 years. Never a problem. I do that once, guaranteed guns in the face. Yeah, I don't do anything. I get caught. I get caught doing everything. I can't get away with anything. This knife is sexy, so it's got a real light peaks and valleys, violet anno job on it. Tumbled S45 VN blade, backstrap breaker, tumble polish. Sexy, sexy knife. Do we have another Praetorian Scout? We've got a great pumpkin-themed Praetorian Scout, and actually it's a high-vis Praetorian Scout. Liner has been black DLC, blade black DLC, clip black DLC, hardware flame anno, high-vis orange, or as we used to say, day-glow orange. Super sexy. Great looking knife. That's a great knife that you won't leave behind because you're out using it and you kind of lay it down and pick something up and forget your knife there. It's screaming at you the minute you let go of it. Next knife is a knife that, you know, it's a lovely, this is like a child that I had that just doesn't get acknowledged for their excellence because they've got older siblings that are just so awesome. This is kind of like that. It's got a peaks and valleys bolster, brushed face, opposing flamed scales. Tops have been brushed. Opposing flamed hardware, tumbled D2 blade. What do we call this one again? That's not enough. Theseus. Theseus. That's a lovely knife, you guys. It has angles on it like a mid-century Skinner. Very cool knife. Moving on to a slim midi. Slim midi. We've got a slim midi here with S45 VN, blacked out blade, blacked out hardware in Tonto with progressive anno on the scales. Just a gentleman's sexy, sexy knife. So you'll have the coolest knife when you open it up, but it is also something that won't weigh down your dress pants. Next knife up is a Damascus drop point slim midi. Super lovely knife. Now, this is kind of an interesting contrast. So we've got a real bare minimum brushed nature to the handles. Blackout hardware, so you've got like metallic with black pops up against a blade that is black with shiny metallic pops in the Damascus pattern itself. Really, really nice knife. It's got a lot of depth to it, and it looks pretty simple until you get a little closer and go, oh shit, that's a Damascus blade. Really, really nice knife. Don't forget, Silent Night is coming out. If you guys get a chance, I think today's the last day in theaters nationwide. It'll move to select theaters, and then I'm sure move to streaming services. John Woo film. Features the USMC fighter. You guys will really, frankly, the movie's not awesome. The movie is mediocre as hell. But to see one of our knives so prominently and whorishly displayed in it was warming to the heart. And I finally went and saw it a couple days before it closed, and I was like, oh my God. And then there's a cameo from the shop here. If you guys spot it, of course, take a picture with your cell phone and put it on Instagram. That'd be super funny if you can spot the cameo from Medford Knife and Tool.
I think I timed it. It's about 25 or 30 minutes.
25 or 30 minutes in? Yeah, it's about 25 or 30 minutes in. So you could ostensibly film 6 or 8 minutes of it with your camera, with your phone, real sneaky beaver-like, and then when it pops up, you'd be able to kind of screen capture it. Another on belay, tumbled handles, old school, opposing black hardware, S45V and blade. Yippee-ki-yay! Sexy on belay. That was 11? Okay. Number 12. S35 VN TFF1. Opposing bronze hardware. And it has a school medallion skull in the presentation side. A medallion skull. Gentle tumble polish. I want you to get a look at this as it comes around. For those of you into scullery, it has got a skull on it. A deep etch around, the skull's popping up off the side of the knife. Next, Nosferatu sheep's foot, opposing hardware. Flips like Dorothy Hamill. Wasn't she an ice skater?
I
Flips like Tim Daggett from the 1988 U.S. Olympics. Tim Daggett went to my high school, and he had a gym. My high school had an entire gymnasium just for gymnastics. Because Coach Jones, we had Coach Jones there. He was the only black coach I ever had, actually. He was a black guy with white hair, and he was a gymnastics coach. The Tim Daggett gym. We had two gyms next to each other. One for Tim Daggett. I never knew him. I didn't hang out in the gymnastics circles. You know what I'm saying? I hung out in the I Rock and Roll Z28 circles. There's something so satisfying about this knife. You guys will like it. Yeah, and it's got a lot of forward mass, so it just kind of pops out there like a big boy. How many knives do we have total in the show today? Total of 32. What are we, about halfway?
We are on number 14.
Not number 14. Approaching halfway of 32. Next up is a Predator. Is that Predator? Is that what that is?
Predator.
Yeah. We've got a Predator sculpted, 187 drop point, all blacked out, D2 blade, blacked out. Everything is murdered out black on this knife. It's just black as can be. This is blacker than 4 feet up a bull's ass. And it's a hand ground American-made knife, and just one of the best deals in the business. Everybody who has this knife just gushes about it. Next up, a Proxima. Blacked out with opposing flamed hardware. S45 VN blade. Guys, that knife I carried for about a year. It is that big flipper tab on it that turns into a hilt. There's just something about that knife that when you grab into it, you feel like that knife's kind of grabbing you back. It's just a slab construction frame lock knife, but when you grab onto it, you feel like, all right, if I had this in one hand and a pistol in the other, I'd get to town with anybody. It's just a mean knife. I really like it. It's very aggressive looking. I think it's a savage knife with great style. Next, I think we're calling this Dragon Skin, even though it looks like bark on a Slim Midi in Tonto. All blacked out on top of the sculpting. Really, really sexy knife. Up next, let's check the lock. This is a, what do we call this one?
Swift Auto.
Oh, that's right. Praetorian Swift Auto. Called Swift for obvious reasons, Auto for obvious reasons. Opposing gold hardware, everything but the button. Since it's a heat-treated item, we don't touch that with flame. Everything else is blacked out on it. That's an aluminum integral body with a titanium. No, that's an all aluminum. That's an all aluminum knife. My bad. I was thinking about the flipper. Next up, we're going to one of our old. This is an attic find. Jumping into an old. Which one is this one? The DFM2. So this is the short drop point Fieldmaster. This is marked 97 D2. It is stamped. It's an original knife, one of my original batch. 1/4-inch thick steel, katana wrapped handle. Just a badass fixed blade with a great belly on it. You know, like Elle McPherson, she had a great belly. This knife's got a great belly also, but more like Winston Churchill. This one's got a little bit of a success belly. Elle McPherson's Elle the Body McPherson. Hers is more of a washboard. God, she was so good. 1,000 miles of broken glass, Lindsay. 1,000 miles of broken glass. She was so hot. Imagine you're Billy Joel. You're down in St. Martin. You've just been playing concerts. Piano Man's broke. You're the biggest musical solo act in the world. You're down at St. Martin just chilling. You walk down the street. You walk into this little Pirates pub that's been there forever, and they've got a little spin-it piano. Kind of like from Casablanca. Remember Sam was playing Casablanca there. He said, "Oh, don't play time. Play the song, Sam." He's, "Oh no, I can't play the song." Boss will get mad. As time goes by, you're Billy Joel. You walk in, you have a couple of beers, you got your beard on. Nobody even knows it's you. You're just like a little short Italian guy hiding down in St. Martin before it pops. You sit down at the piano with one of your beers. You light up a cigarette. You start playing the piano. Within a half an hour, everybody says, "Jesus Christ, it sounds like Billy Joel." Somebody goes, "Yeah, I think that's Billy Joel." Next thing you know, this little bar in St. Martin's full of people. He's getting his drink on. He's singing. He's playing the piano, focused on his craft. And he looks up. This tall, high-back spinning piano, and he's just a little short guy. And he looks up, and who's there? Elle McPherson. Who's the girl? Christy Brinkley and Cindy Crawford. The three of them are leaning over the piano. They're down there shooting the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. It might have been Kathy Ireland or instead of Cindy Crawford, but I think it was Cindy Crawford. Imagine those three dolls leaned over the piano while you sit there with your stumpy fingers and your frog eyes singing the Piano Man. Can you imagine that, Bobby? Bobby's like, "Yep, I can imagine that." That would be spectacular. All right, you guys. Marauder. I digress. Why was I talking about that?
Good story.
I don't know why I was talking about it. So what we have here, you're going to see this come around. This is a Marauder H. So 3/16 scales, 3/16 blade in Chad Nichols' Damascus. Opposing black and topped out, faced out bronze hardware on the clip. And then we've got on the presentation side, hard to notice until you turn it the right way, but you'll notice we've got President Trump there. So we're going to let this come around so you can see it from where it's at right now, and then I'm going to hold it up so you can get a little better look at it. See the Trump? Best knife ever. I'm going to hold it up for you guys so you can see. Getting a good look at that. Obviously in Damascus, it is a big, cool, badass knife for a big, cool, badass president, actually. So listen, if you voted for Joe Biden, take your money and don't buy this knife. Please don't. Just buy other knives that are not pro-Trump. I don't know if I actually make any of those, but we make a lot of knives that aren't pro-Trump, but they're Trump friendly. Yeah. Nosferatu Auto. This is the dagger. Did a really cool asymmetrical style of dagger here. This knife is evil. It is sinister. I want a sewing machine, somebody in the pericardium every time I open this thing. Blacked out blade, bronze handles that have been faced. Super, super sexy with opposing black hardware. That is a great looking knife. Moving on, Praetorian T in Predator Sculpt. It's got some cool ano and brush and ano that's been done in combination. CPM 3V blade with a Vulcan finish on it and drop point, flamed out hardware. This knife is just cool. I hope you like that knife. Everything about it is cool. Next up in our lineup, an S45VN Praetorian Slim Flipper. Just a great, thin, slender knife with great style, not in a Tonto, but in a drop point for you guys that are over 45 that like more of a drop point. Obviously, it's got lavender ano, peaks and valley scales, so super sexy. Smooth Criminal. Black. Type 3 Class 2 hard anode opposing flame hardware. Tumbled and anode clip. Tumbled S45 VN steel. As you look at this knife and you look at the badging on it, you'll see our logo with a bullet shooting through it and the logo blowing up. We decided to do some graphical logos to have fun. And that knife this year will have that on it, and some last year. It's pretty cool. Next, we got a Praetorian T stained glass that has had brushing ano tops kind of buffed off, re-anode again. It's got a really cool iridescent, multicolored, beautiful look to it. The contrast bronze hardware goes with the bronze tones in the Vulcan finish blade. Just a lovely Praetorian T. Next in our ongoing series of Please God, Can I Have Another President? Please God, Baby Jesus, God and Jesus and Baby Jesus. May the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit bless us with a new president. And Saint Nick. May Saint Nick shimmy down the chimney of our nation, or up the cornhole of our nation, and rip out the hemorrhoid that is in Washington, and gift us with a baller, with a whip to roll through the temple, taking out the money changers and the corruption. Oh, geez. You know, it's a metaphor for the holidays, Lindsay. All black. Guys, I'm going to tell you this one time. This is a Praetorian T steel magnet cut. Hardness of, what are we doing the hardness at? 62, 62 plus or minus 1, right? So 62 plus or minus 1 is the hardness on this. It has an iridescent blackness to it because we did a tumbled finish direct PVD application. This is our MAGA knife. It has President Trump obviously on it. Can you see that, Bobby? It's got MAGA on the back. Make America great again. Black and gold. The way Trump likes his toilets. Here we go, sports fans. You guys will love this. And if you don't like it, that's okay. Allow me to be... I'm not trying to get you to vote one way or the other. But allow me to just speak my mind as an American and not be too judgy about it, okay? All right, next. What do we call this thing?
The chunky monkey.
That's...
Chunky monkey.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right, you guys. Lindsay has just pulled a fast one. This is a chunky monkey. So this is a really small knife. If you happen to work in an office with a bunch of pussies or complete lefties, or it's a bunch of old ladies and you take out your big knife and 3 of them become incontinent and fill up their Depends undergarments, you could take this one out and they'll be like, oh, look at that cute little thing. Look how cute it is. It's so cute. But it's manly, but it's cute. Or if you live in Chicago, Boston, New York, or some of the cities that have lost their fucking minds, you could pull this knife out. Now, it's the chunky monkey, but it's been renamed the Trumpy monkey because, I don't know, can you see that, Bobby? Yes. Nice. It's got a little Trump on there. And, you know, we could all go with a little Trump. They've been trying to block him. Every time they block him, it, like, works in his favor. Like Colorado blocked him off the ballot, and the Republicans were like, all right, you can't do that, so we're just going to caucus outside. You could just decide to caucus inside or out. I've been trying to caucus inside for the last few years. Moving on, USMC fighter flipper, for any of you got that little political humor. For any of you who didn't, I apologize. Try 23andMe, you'll find out who your dad is. Well, that was kind of not nice. I'm just feeling plucky since it's Boxing Day. All right, USMC fighter flipper. Tumble polish, handles in bronze, opposing flamed hardware, and pommel. S35 VN tumble polish blade, black backstrap, super, super sexy. USMC fighter flipper. If you get in a knife taken out competition, who's got the coolest knife? There's not too many circles you can stand in, too many places on planet Earth where you take that knife out and everybody doesn't go, gonk, what is that? Because it's so fucking cool. Praetorian Slim. Everything about this knife is right. 1/8" handle slabs, 1/8" blade, S45 VN blade steel in tumble polish, black DLC application to the titanium sides and clip. Nice, lovely MKT USA outlined logo and badging on the clip. Just an awesome knife. What else are we going to talk about? Nashville Tactical. I've mentioned in the beginning, if you're late to the show, I'm going to mention it again. January 5th, Nashville, Tennessee, Nashville Tactical. You can look them up. We're going to be, their place is in a really well-known, very cool automotive factory from the early part of the last century that's been gentrified into a cool little shopping thing. I'm going to give you some details about it right now. Give me a moment. 1300 Clinton Street, number 129, Nashville, Tennessee. Mark and Calvin are the principal folks there. Nashville Tactical Lounge. Guys, cool vibe. I'll be there at 5 o'clock. I'll be doing just some Bono work on people's knives, tuning them up, tuning blades, doing some cleanings, that kind of thing. Starting at 6 to 8, I'll just be glad-handed hanging out with everybody. I believe they're going to do some food. If not, we'll all go out and eat afterwards. It'll be a hoot. I'm going to give away the OTF number 1 there. So there probably won't be 200 people there. So you would have a 1 in 100 or 1 in 200, however many people show up. If 50 people show up, you'll have a 1 in 50 chance of winning the number 1 first ever released to public OTF for Medford Knife and Tool. It's a dagger. Super cool. Yes?
Also the sweepstakes with K-Bar.
Oh, when does the sweepstakes with K-Bar start?
January.
January what?
I don't have
So throughout the month, you guys are going to get some contacts from us. And if you don't get the contact, feel free to reach out to us at medfordsales@medfordknife.com. You can reach out to Lindsay. Say, hey, Lindsay, I want in on it. But you're going to hear about this all month from us, and we'll tell you how to participate. I imagine there'll be a link at the top of the website where you can click into it. But what it is K-Bar Knives has given a stone knife and a one-of-a-kind prototype folder. And then we're giving a USMC fighter flipper and a USMC fighter. The 4 knives we're putting up as a giveaway, and we're doing a sweepstakes. So what you'll have to do is click on a link. You go register there for the giveaway, and yeah, and there'll be some instructions. So it'll be kind of like follow K-Bar Knives, follow Medford Knives, and for everyone that you kind of like and follow, you get a little extra credit towards being in the drawing, and the drawing is weighted by who puts in the most effort. But you can just sign up and you have a smaller chance, but you still have a chance of winning. And then it'll do a random drawing, and then we'll notify you guys and send the knives out. It's going to be a really epic giveaway. So I'm going to find some way to make our USMC fighter and flipper equally as epic to what they're doing. In K-Bar country that is not necessarily super collectible oriented. These are some really cool collectible pieces. John Stitt and the guys out at K-Bar. Who are you and Jeff talking to out there? You remember? Brad? Yeah. We want to thank those guys for being so gracious and a wonderful part of the knife community, and be a nice chance to blend one of the companies that always backed me up with knives when I needed them when I was a young man going around the world. And now, wow, we're friends with them, and they're supporting us doing this sweepstake. Very cool. I hope we do more of them in the future. So that's the K-Bar and Medford Knife sweepstake we'll be doing throughout the month of January. You guys should really enjoy that. Next, TFF 1. It's got Terminator, tumbled, smooth, handles, opposing black hardware, and a beautiful Vulcan finish blade. First pocket knife I ever drew. Next, Slim Midi. Slim Midi is in a muted tone, blasted titanium handles, opposing brushed hardware, sexy Vulcan Tonto blade. Good stuff happened on that knife, folks. Last but not least, we have a couple of fixed blades we want to talk about with you today. The first one is called the San, named after ancient tribes of Bushmen in Africa. Titanium hardware. What are the handles made of? Are these they're not G10, are they? Are these micarta, Bobby, or are these
Yeah,
these are G10. Yep. So these are G10. We've been doing a new texture on them, giving them a little bit of kind of feel that you get with micarta which is what tricked me without my glasses on. Instead of doing a 2 thou overlap on our passes, we've done a 10 thou overlap. Leaves a really nice gridding that feels almost like a gridding, not gritty, that looks like almost like canvas. CPM 3V, it's in bare steel, so you can do sparking with it against the ferrule rod. It's got some extended tang on the back for some heavy pommel striking. Titanium hardware, just a badass knife with a great kind of bushcraft, non-strapped. You're not jumping out of airplanes with this thing, but it tucks down in here real deep carry into the leather sheath, and then you kind of grab it by the protruding back of the tang to pull it out. Just a lovely knife. Tucks in real small on your gear and your kit if you're hunting or whatever, and you've got a great bushcraft knife for out in the field with you. Oh, let me put that on the Lazy Susan. And there's nothing that we should not call this a Lazy Susan. We should call this a hardworking Susan. The other thing about this knife, which I should point out, are the beautiful sheaths. These sheaths are they're handmade. They're sewn by hand. They're not hand stitched on a sewing machine. They're saddle stitched, top grain cowhide, full welt construction. Really, really nice 1950s, 1960s nod to quality with today's kind of expectation for fit and finish beyond what you saw in the 1960s. So lovely, lovely sheaths with this knife, and fits the whole genre that we're doing now. Next knife I'm going to talk about with you guys is the AIO. Adapt and improvise. Adapt, improvise, and overcome, kind of a saying in the Marine Corps. The original version of this knife was a doodle done with a crayon on some yellow line paper by a jarhead friend of mine. John brought the idea to me, and it evolved into a knife. This is the second generation of it. Used to have a crowbar on the end. We put a striking pommel with some jimping. It's got forward lashing notches for lashing it to a pole to give you more purchase to get the spear portion really solid onto a pole. Sculpted, fully 3D surfaced G10 handles. Again, this is part of my whole current thinking on quality and composition that I'm doing. Full leather sheath, full welt construction, top and bottom. It's got a big drop sheath with multiple retention kind of built into it. It's got some holes for lashing, obviously a retention strap, the leather full welt sheath, and a welted belt loop as well. Just beautiful sheath. Reminds me of something Randall wishes they could have done in the 1960s. It's yummy. All right, sports fans, that's our nod to the British. That is our nod to Boxing Day. It is the last thing of the year we're going to offer from Medford Knife and Tool besides normal course of business sales throughout the week. We want to thank you guys so much for your support over the years. We want to thank you for your support through great times and tough. A little bit of a weird time right now. We got our fingers crossed for some new leadership in this glorious nation of ours. Thanks to Bobby for coming in after hours. Thanks for Lindsay for putting us all together. It's Jeff's last week. If you guys get a chance, he'll be in all next week. Feel free to send him an email, sales@medfordknife.com, and just say, Jeff, we love you. We're going to miss you, because we are going to miss him. We've got some new talent coming on board. You guys are going to love them. Jeff was part of picking them and selecting them, and Jeff is still FOS. He is a friend of the shop. So wherever we go, he's in our hearts, and I think he's going to be at Blade Show for a day or two, and I think in some way he's going to be some emeritus part of the company as we move forward. So big shout out to Jeff O'Prendy. Thank you for all your time, your energy, your effort, your intelligence, your laughs, and friendship over the last 7 years. Check us out, medfordknife.com. Go to the top. You can find any one of these knives there. Click on the last vault of the year, and they're all yours. I'm out.